Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's Aces High. Today, I'm gonna bring you guys the next part of our farming journey. So, if you guys haven't seen already, I do have a couple videos out there. One on how to set up and buy your first property. Another one on how to cultivate, plow, subsoil. You know, kind of the differences between them. Just explaining it and showing the cultivation process. As you can see, we actually finished that last time. That was the last thing we did here with our beautiful new cultivator. And now it's time for a little bit of fertilization and lime. So this field is already 100% fertilized. However, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to fertilize anyway. So there are two stages to fertilizing. So in order to get 100% fertilized and to get the most out of your crop's yield, you do need to fertilize twice. However, there's one exception to that, which I'll get to in just 1 second. If your field says 0% fertilized, then it has not been fertilized at all. What you're going to do is right after cultivating, you're going to fertilize it the first time. And then after it grows to its first growth stage, so after you see it change once, you're going to drive back through before it gets to the tall crops, because then they'll be ruined by driving over them. And you're going to fertilize a second time. By doing this, you'll get 50% each time, and you'll actually get 100% fertilized. So it's a pretty interesting system, and just kind of something you have to keep in mind if you want that full bonus. Fertilizing is very important because if you fertilize both times, it gives you, I think it's an extra 30% or something like that in crop yields, which is actually incredibly important. All right, so what are we going to do to fertilize? We are going to look at the different types of fertilizer. So let me hop into the shop here. So there are several types of fertilizer. There is, and the easiest way to look at it is to come over here. There is solid fertilizer. Solid fertilizer kind of just spits out. It's got discs that shoot it a long distance from the machines, and it's kind of cool. It's cheaper than liquid fertilizer, but I found that the machines are actually more expensive to buy in the first place. But I might be wrong on that. Next up is going to be liquid fertilizer. Liquid fertilizer does cost more per square foot or per acre to actually put it down, but I found that the sprayers are, pretty cheap, honestly. And I really like the sprayers, something about them. All right. You can also buy your solid fertilizer here if you'd like. And there is an added bonus to both solid fertilizers and liquid fertilizers, which I'll get to in just 1 second. So let's look at solid fertilizers first. If you come to the trailer section of the buy and you click on Fertilizer Spreaders, we have several solid fertilizers. If you look right down here, it does show that it does fertilizer. That's what that little green leaf on a bag symbol means. That is going to be fertilizer. So if you click over here, you notice that there's like a mountain with some white rock. What is that, you might think? Well, it's simple. That's lime. So one of the added bonuses of solid fertilizers is that you can also, out of 2 out of the 4 of them that come base in the game, you can also spread lime. So if you're trying to save a little bit of money, you can fill it up with solid fertilizer, then you can unload it, then fill it with lime, then unload it and go back and forth. You can use it for both purposes. And lime is important because it does give you a decent extra yield on your farm, and that extra yield will generate a lot of extra crop, and it will give you a lot of extra money. All right. So one thing to keep in mind, just like everything else, is you need to see how much it holds. 9,000 to 14,000 L is pretty solid. I mean, that will be a few times of doing this field behind me, plus the width. The width is honestly really important. You can buy it as low as 12 or get it up to 18. This one also does 12 to 18, but it holds more. That's the only difference between these two. As you can see, I mean the weight, I guess, but your tractor should be able to handle it. But the speed is still the same. They both do lime and they both do fertilizer. Personally, I would recommend one of these two. This one does do 42 meters. So if you're just doing fertilizer, this one's awesome. It spreads incredibly far, but it doesn't do lime, so you have to buy your own lime machine. It's really up to you. This one is kind of I mean, it's not bad. It still does 42 meters, but it doesn't hold anything. And it doesn't do lime. It's kind of lame. I'd recommend at least getting this one to start. But that's just me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy this guy. because although it doesn't do lime, I can buy a separate one for lime, and I'll probably come back and buy this guy right here for lime. I know it'll take me a little bit longer for lime, but it'd be so nice to be able to get 42 meters spread with a with my fertilizer with this guy. So let's buy it. No more cult life. Let's go. Oh, I think this fits perfect. Fertilize. Is that how you spell fertilize? So hard. Yeah, whatever. That's my fertilize. All right, fertilize. Again, there are different tires. You can have narrow or you can have standard. Honestly, narrow might not be the worst choice on here, but if your tractor doesn't have narrow, then it doesn't make a difference. You still can't drive over the big crops, so I'm just going to leave it standard. There are different wheels. Doesn't really make a difference. Personally, I guess it's just kind of preference. I don't think there's any difference to it, so I'm just going to leave it right there. And let's buy it. So this, before I click that last OK, this does hold 10,000 L. Alright. So, we come over here, click on this symbol right here. We can click either big bags or big bag pallets. We're going to click big bag pallets. And we need 10,000 L to fill it up. We don't need that much. I'm only going to put 5,000 in it for now. Fill it halfway. But you can click on this guy, and each one is 1,000, so we're going to grab 5 of them. Okay, now everything's at the shop. Let's back out. Let's hop in our trusty baby blue. Unhook from that cultivator. And let's get busy fertilizing. Oh, I know I could beat this car. Yeah, the cars do not wait for you at all. Like, not in the slightest. Alright, what am I doing? I'm flying right by it. So, we're going to hook up. We're going to cut hard to the right. When the top opens, it means you're close enough. There you go. And you see it says refill fertilizer spreader on the left. So we're going to start filling it. It will stop autofilling every time that 1,000 is done, that one pallet disappears and you have to click again. Hopefully I'm close enough for that last one. I don't think I am, though. It's quite a ways. Yeah, wasn't close enough for either one. It's okay. Easy fix. Get a little closer. Start filling. As you can see in the bottom right, I am going up. I'm up to 3,700, 4,000, and here's 5,000. This will be 50% of the way full. There we go. Fertilizer spreaders are easy. Easy, easy, easy. All that you have to do is turn on fertilizer spreader. And then you simply start driving. Look how wide this goes, though. It's incredible. Get back on out of here for you. That's as far back as I can go. Look, I'm still getting the edge. I need to be this far in just to hit just right over to the edge. Wow, that's nuts. So you just kind of spread it along. If this wasn't already fertilized, the soil would get just a little bit darker as it goes on. That might only be with liquid fertilizers, but I believe it's also with solid, where it'll get just a little bit darker and you can actually see the lines where you're doing it. So, as you can see, fertilizing doesn't take long at all. And you're just going to go ahead and you're going to fertilize the entire place. However, I am not going to fertilize my entire field, because as I told you at the beginning of this video, I am at 100%. I don't need to fertilize it, but look how easy that is. I already drew somewhere over to here. This field would probably take 3, maybe 4 passes to do the entire thing. That's nothing. It takes a couple minutes, costs you a little bit of money because you have to pay for the fertilizer, but it's an easy job. Well, there are a couple other options. So the third option that we can get into, we've talked about solid fertilizer. Let's talk a little bit about liquid fertilizer, and then we'll get into the third and the fourth option for fertilizer. So liquid fertilizer, they have incredible reach. Even just this basic one is 24 meters. Look at this guy, 27 to 33. I mean, they're pretty good. Sure, they may not be the 43 or whatever I have on that other one, But we have this special guy. If you go to vehicles, you actually have one that you can drive. They are expensive, and it's going to be more end game, but it's worth it. Underneath crop protection right here, if you scroll down 2 spots underneath small tractor, you have both of these, and look how wide these are. You drive them, they hold a lot of liquid fertilizer. They go 36 or 48.5 meters. That's incredible. 48.5 meters, that's over half of a American football field. All right, so sprayers, same type of thing. You buy one, you hook it up to your tractor, and then all that you're going to do is you're going to come over here to pallets, and you're going to fill up on liquid fertilizer. There is no difference between these 2 brands. I don't know why they have the 2 brands, because they're the same price. It really doesn't make any difference at all. Honestly, it doesn't make sense to even have them. That being said, we have a couple other types of fertilizers that we can get into. So if you click trailers here, these are going to be the 2 most common ones that you use, especially in the beginning. Your fertilizer spreader or your sprayers. Well, we do have manure and we have slurry. So let me talk a little bit about those. Manure. So if you down the line start getting cows, you start getting, animals, you're gonna be able to make manure. This is basically a byproduct from the animals that will give you fertilizer. It's great. All you have to do is you put straw in with the cows and they kick out manure. It's great. Seriously. So, what do you do for the manure? You come over here and you buy a manure spreader. You fill it up, you turn it on, and as you can see, it's not nearly as wide because, I mean, how far can you really shoot manure? But it's a byproduct. It's great. It's basically free. Saves you a little bit of cash. Even the widest one is only 24 meters. But 24 meters, honestly, isn't that bad. But 156,000 is. I don't think this is worth it, personally. I like the liquid spreaders most of the time, or possibly the solid. But there is one more option for us. So the 4th option for fertilizers is going to be the slurry tanks. The slurry tanks are interesting. So the slurry tanks also come with animals. In my other multiplayer world that I run with a few friends, I actually have a slurry tank. We have one of these little guys picking up slurry from one of our cattle ranches, one of our cow farms. And what it is it will collect slurry from the farm. And then you can take that and you can run over, and with 15 meters wide, you can dump it on as fertilizer. The cool thing about slurry, though, is you can activate double fertilizer mode. So with slurry, you do have to collect it from your animals, but you can fertilize both times, so 50 and 100% in one go. Yeah, that's a game changer. You don't have to wait. You can do it right away. You can do both of them in one, and it's kind of amazing. I'm trying to switch over to slurry, but I want to get that end game slurry. I mean, look at this. Look at this. 30,000 liters it holds. That's huge. I'd have to pull it with this. Maybe that's not a semi-truck. I think that's a semi-truck. Oh, yeah, semi-trail tanker. There it is. And this one actually is with a DLC that I have on right now. But that holds it, and then you hook, it looks like you hook this guy on probably to the front. And, ooh, 6 meters. Screw that. Are there any really wide ones? 36 meters. That's more like it. So this is probably what I'm going with. This guy mixed with this. I'm assuming this is 34. Yeah, 34.5 cubic meters. That's a good sized trailer of slurry. So yeah, end game. Probably shoot for that. I can do all of my stuff in one. And honestly, it's kind of great. Well, that is fertilizing. I don't know if you guys have any other questions. If you do, feel free to leave me a comment. I'll answer it as quick as I can. And if you guys are interested in more of these videos, kind of the walkthroughs, the tutorials, eventually I'm going to get into which tractors are the best, what cultivators are the best, things like that, and just kind of how to do some of the more complicated parts. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys hit that sub button. Ring that bell and see what I'm posting. I'm going to try to post a couple videos a week and just see where this goes. Hope you guys dug it. Till next time, this is Aces High. I love y'all. I'm out.